Hopefully you're not too slow today. Let's see, contest of speed. There is the stream there. It's slowly uploading to the channel. Hopefully it won't take too long. There's the stream up. And the audio is working as it should, and there's an ad. That is fantastic. But the stream's up, the chat's up. We're all good to go. So, hello and welcome everyone to round 14 of the AM1 Championship here on Contest of Speed. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and we're back, and this time at Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache for the Brazilian Grand Prix. To me, Interlagos is one of the finest racing facilities ever built. The 2.68 mile, 15 turn course has an uncanny ability to almost always generate spectacular racing. There are two major overtaking opportunities with the help of DRS down the pit straight into the Center S and down the Retroposta into Descida do Lago. We may also see some action heading into the hairpins of turns 8 and 10 in the middle sector. Probably the most important corner on the circuit is most likely Junso. Turn 13, the beginning of the third sector. The amount of speed carried into turns 14 and 15 and the speed carried down the pit straight is pretty much dictated on how well you execute Junso. So the entirety of the third sector is basically dictated by one corner. The rest of the circuit consists of a mix of medium, high and low speed corners, which will test every part of a car's setup. Fortunately, drivers won't have to worry about changing a dry setup for wet weather conditions. The weather report states that it should be overcast for both sessions, but no rain expected. Hopefully we get to see a fantastic race and a tight qualifying session. It usually is here at this magnificent circuit. But first, just a little bit of news from the previous race. Now, there were two stewards reports handed out that I saw at the very least, where Aaron Carey was handed a dangerous driving reprimand as KD goes into the wall there at Curva do Sol. Just an amazing coincidence that I was looking at him at that time. Peter Payton was awarded 2 penalty points for retiring on track. You're not allowed to do that. It's a very well-known rule in almost every league. And as a result, he has a qualifying ban for this race. So Payton will be starting from the back of the field. Looking in the Drivers' Championship, Assassin is leading on 253 points, followed by Barmer 22 on 172. It's quite a big gap between first and second in the championship now, just after the halfway mark in this championship as well. So Assassin looking in a really, really good position to try and take the Drivers' Championship. Arbar currently third on 122, then followed by Andy Wu, Cos Karen, Aaron Carey, P-Dog Payton, Kitten Petter, KD, and Fred Head rounds out the top 10. Looking in the constructors' standings, it's Aston Martin leading the way on 304, followed by Mercedes-Benz on 282. So 22 points separating the top two. Then McLaren third, followed by AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas, Ferrari, Williams, Alpine, and then Red Bull. Well, that's pretty much it in terms of news. We can now focus on what will hopefully be an entertaining qualifying session. But, currently on track, have quite a few cars. Barmer just completing a lap there. Andy Wu getting ready. He's currently on a out lap. Looking at the rest of the field, as I believe that was... Ooh. Barmer has come to a dead stop there, just before turn 10. He'll get going again soon. But who will we take advantage of? Maybe Andy. Give you a guided tour of this Interlagos circuit. It's coming out of Junso, then up the hill around turn 14, then turn 15, taken completely flat out. Really shows the importance of turn 13. Down the pit straight towards turn 1. Down through the Center S, brings it down to third gear, hits the apex fairly nicely around turn 2, then Curva do Sol turn 3, Absolutely flat out, hugging the inside there. Opens DRS down the Retroposta, down towards turn 4, the Cedar do Lago. Gets on the brakes just before the 50 board, brings it down to 5th gear. Nice and tidy, keeping it within the white lines as he exits turn 5. Up the hill towards Ferradura, turn 6, into turn 7. Tight hairpin coming up, turn 8. Gets on the brakes, 3rd gear. Doesn't go to 2nd, interestingly enough. Typically I use 2nd at that corner, but Andy uses 3rd gear. Coming around turn 11. Another potential overtaking spot. And down through turn 12. And into turn 13, Junso. Doesn't quite hit the apex and doesn't get an amazing exit either, but there's still plenty of time left in qualifying for Andy to improve. One more corner remaining, turn 15. Keeps it narrow, up towards the finish line. And it's a 1 minute 7.222. Goes P2. What a lovely coincidence that is. Electric Blade not on a flying lap. Kitten Petter getting ready to set a flying lap. He'll cross the control line and head towards turn 1. It's on the brakes for 3rd gear. Short shifting to 4th to find the traction. Short shifting to 5th to try and find even more traction. Exiting turn 3. Down the Retroposta. A bit of traffic in front. They shouldn't impede Petter too much. Through the Cedar do Lago, turn 4. Then through turn 5. Then up the hill towards turn 6. Yeah, every time I've commentated here, ever since I started commentating back in F1 2019, there's been very, very few occasions where we've had a boring race here at this circuit. So I'm quite looking forward to this. It's a bit nicer to know as well that it isn't going to be raining. That's always a nice thought. Typically when it starts raining, drivers don't go for any sort of overtakes. They put themselves into their own little safety bubble to try and survive the wet conditions. Exiting turn 14, then coming around turn 15, Kitten Petter will complete his flying lap. Set a 1 minute 7.6, about 6/10 slower than his teammate, who is still in 2nd place. Lopez and Vermeulen getting ready. Ferrari driver sets off, crosses the control line towards the center S. He's in the Carlos Sainz mobile as well. You can tell from the number 55 on his Ferrari. Coming around Curva de Sol. Down the Retroposta on the medium tyre as well. A couple of drivers trying to set times on the mediums. Passassin, he's done a medium lap, currently P5. KD's done the same down in P10. See how Vermeulen will fare. And strategy around here, if memory serves me right, is soft medium. It's a fairly simple strategy around here. But that can be altered a little bit if we have a well-placed safety car at any point during the race. Exiting turn 11, then down the hill around the swooping left-hander of turn 12 as Lopez has crashed out at turn 3. Let's see here. Barmer? Where is he? Oh, and Barmer's almost done the same. There is Lopez. So he's lost control coming out of turn 2. And he's ended up hitting the barrier on the right-hand side of the circuit. So Lopez, he'll be starting from the back. Down in 18th place. There are definitely worse places to start from the back. But at any racetrack, you don't want to be starting towards the back of the field. Got a lot of work to do. Cam making his way around turn 11. Then down through turn 12. Very tricky corner to get right. The car wants to break away from you. And if it does, well, you're ending up in the barrier just like Lopez. Or what many people might say is worse is that you spin out into the infield and the game will teleport you back onto the racing line. Because that's what it does. When you go too far off the circuit, it will teleport you back onto the racetrack. And then the car's coming through the corner. Just see this Williams just pop out of nowhere. Right in the middle of the circuit. Definitely not a nice thing to see. And if the ghosting system doesn't completely work, then it can cause quite a bit of chaos. Down through turn 12 comes Passassin, our current championship leader. He's on the soft tyre as well, and he's improved by 7.5 tenths of a second. With this sort of time, he's looking at a 6.7, 1 minute 6.7. Can he find any more time in the final sector? Yes, he can. He can find another 10, setting a 1 minute 6.575. He is well clear of Mitch Burns, who is currently in P2. Breezy coming towards the end of the lap. Apparently purple to the middle sector. We'll wait and see what his time looks like. Up towards the control line. It is P5 for Breezy with a 1 minute 7.3. If you take out Assassin, it's a pretty close top 10. From Mitch Burns all the way down to Vermoo, in fact, it's 1 second. So it's very close indeed. Which is rather typical of Interlagos. It's a very short lap. So naturally qualifying is quite tight. Andy Wu has jumped up to second place with a 1 minute 6.978. Aaron Carey getting ready to set a flying lap. Coming around turns 14 and 15. He's on the medium tyre as well. See how he fares. Up and around turn 1. Then down through the center S. Yellow flags in the second sector. It's just a Ferrari going slowly. DRS open down the Reta Aposta towards the Cedar del Lago. It's on the brakes at 323 kilometers an hour. Rides the inside curb nicely through turn 5. Then up the hill towards turn 6. Gets on the brakes, brings it down to 5th gear, short shifting to 6th. To find the traction. Then around turn 8. Not invalidating there, he was very close to though. Cut a lot of the inside curb. Bit of an awkward run through turn 9. Now into turn 11. Down the hill through turn 12. Keeping it just within the white lines. And then through Junso. Turn 13, a bit of a wiggle on the exit. But keeps it straight. Relatively straight. DRS open up towards the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 8.775. It's currently slowest out of all the drivers on track. He's a good 6/10 slower than Vermoo in 14th place. Just really shows you the pace comparison between the soft tyre and the medium tyre. Mitch, you're going back into the pits. Vermoo, I think you might be going back in as well. Or maybe not. You are using a little bit of battery, so he might be on a flying lap. Currently coming through turn 9. And through turn 10, oh, he's invalidated there at the exit of turn 9. Just running a little bit too wide. He's almost come to a dead stop there. Wingett has done a similar thing. His lap's invalid. Bursey, currently, his lap... Well, he's not on a flying lap. Not using any battery, not pushing the car at all. So effectively he's on a second out lap, just trying to dump a little bit of fuel. And he'll set off coming out of turn 13. Get on the throttle as early as you can. Using the battery up the hill around turn 14. As Cameron has joined the session, so we'll have a 19-car field then for the start of the race. Hopefully with his late join, it doesn't screw up the lobby because, well, that does happen quite a lot in this game. Exiting turn 3, down the Reta Aposta. Bit of traffic in front. Well, KD and Arba, they get out of the way. Nicely done there. Through Descida del Lago. Then through turn 5. There's Cam getting out of the way. Good job there. Up and around Ferradura, turn 6. Then turn 7. Then into the hairpin of turn 8. Down through 9. You have to get on the throttle as early as you can. Does a nice job. Doesn't run too wide on the exit. Around the other tight hairpin of turn 11. Fairly tidy. Around turn 12. Keeping it pinned. Nicely done there through turn 13. But, he's overcooked it. And he was down overall. He lost about a tenth and a half in the second sector. So Brazil will pull into the pits. Chuck on another set of tyres and go out again. With 3 minutes left, he should have enough time to do that. Wingett, I believe, has just improved by half a second. I think that's what came up on the timing graphic there in the top right. Cam, his lap is invalid. Barmer's getting ready to set a flying lap. He's at turn 5. Arba beginning a lap. Coming around Curva de Sol onto the Reta Aposta. I think KD is just in front of him. No, it's a Haas that is just in front. It's Electric Blade. He's getting out of the way. Exiting turn 5 up the hill. Aaron's in a bit of a bad spot, but Arba gets around him. Through turn 6, then 7. Then up and around the hairpin of turn 8. Gently on the throttle. Modulating the brake and throttle at the same time to try and claw your way around the corner. Exiting turn 11, then down the hill around turn 12. Coming up to the second sector split. What does the clock say? He's up, but only by a little bit, by 11 thousandths of a second. Really narrow there. Coming through turn 14. One corner remains for Arba. Up towards the finish line, and he's backed off completely there. He backed off a lot, so he's probably going to try and hope to start outside the top 10 by doing that. Try and let some of the cars behind improve, so then he can have a free selection of tyre for the start of the race. Kittapeta getting out of the way. His qualifying might be over. Quite low on battery. Only a minute and 20 seconds left in the session as well. KD has jumped up to second place with a 1 minute 6.8. Still some way behind this man, Passassin, with his 6.5. Be interesting to see what he can do right at the end of the session. Cameron has invalidated his lap. He's in the Hamilton Mobile. He should... it'll be pretty close in terms of time, but I think he'll make it to try and set some sort of lap. Andy has invalidated, and he's coming back into the pit, so it's qualifying over for Andy. Barmer down in the first sector, so I think Barmer's session is done as well. The best he can hope for is P6. Let's see here. Breezy getting ready to set a flying lap down towards turn 1. Through the center S third gear. Keeping it third, then fourth gear through turn 2, then through turn 3, Curva de Sol. I don't think Cameron is a Aston Martin driver, Ricciardo. I don't think so. Though I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure he is a Mercedes driver. Up the hill and around turn 6 and 7. I really should know who's in what car, shouldn't I, seeing as I am the commentator. But I do that many streams that I tend to forget who's in what car most of the time. Up and around turn 11. See what Sector 2 says for Breezy. Coming around turn 12. The clock says he's up by 2.5 tenths. Gets Junso relatively right. I think there was a bit of lag which made him appear as if he made a mistake. Around the final corner, up towards the line. He improves to P3 with a 1 minute 6.922. And Passassin pulls into the pit lane as Barmer has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Really? He didn't even block the pit lane. He was still moving. What? What's that all about? You're kidding, game. He was blocking? Oh my goodness. Well, that's it. Qualifying over. Passassin on pole with his 1 minute 6.575. If I recall, that was his second flying lap. He initially set a time on the mediums and did a lap on the softs. He's on pole by a healthy margin to KD 1997, followed by Breezy in third place. We'll run through the rest of the order when we see the results screen. See here the Haas mechanics pushing their car back into the garage. And hopefully we'll get to the loading screen. There we are. So just under 2.5 tenths separating the top two at the end. So pretty close, but I reckon Assassin could have found a bit more time with the optimal conditions at the end of the session. Breezy P3, Mitch Burns in 4th, Andy in 5th, Vermoo in P6, Cam in 7th, Arbar 8th, Kitten Petter in 9th, and Electric Blade rounds out the top 10 with 8 tenths separating the top 10. Then Wing It, Aaron, Express, Burzy, Dream, and Peyton, Lopez, Cameron, and Barmer. All 4 drivers in some sort of fashion setting no time. Peyton had a qualifying ban. Lopez crashed out. Cameron joined late, and Barmer got disqualified. For some reason. That is... oh. That's amazing. So your car just froze before the light. Really? It didn't look like it froze. So I wasn't really paying attention to the cars going into the pit lane because, well, nothing happens. It's just cars going into the pits. But righto, so your car just froze. That's so unfortunate, Bummer. I feel really, really sorry for you, mate. Oh, starting from the back. Like, it could be worse. It could be Monaco, it could be Singapore, where you would have a really, really hard time making up places. Was full throttle and it wouldn't move. Well, you gotta love this game, man. But that's a glitch I haven't heard of. That's a new one. And credit to you, Cam. P7, that's pretty solid. Starting towards the front. Hopefully you keep out of trouble. Hopefully everybody keeps out of trouble. No, that's definitely something new. I haven't heard of that before, of a car just freezing for whatever reason. I mean, I've seen cars spin out on track and they quote-unquote block the pit lane exit and get disqualified that way. I've seen that, but I haven't seen that. Rightio. All the drivers set off. Let's have a look and see who's starting on what tyre. So, everyone inside the top 10 starting on the soft tyre, as that's the tyre they qualified on. Assassin on pole, KD in P2, Breezy in 3rd, Mitch Burns P4, Andy P5, Vermoo in P6, Cam in 7th place, followed by Arbar, Kitten Petter, and Electric Blade rounding out the top 10. First driver outside the top 10 is Wing It 88 in the Ferrari, starting on the medium compound. Then Aaron Carey in P12 on the hard compound tyre. The only driver on the hard compound tyre as well for the start of this race. Express in P13, starting on a set of mediums. Same with Burzy in P14. Dream P15 on a set of mediums. Peyton serving a qualifying ban. I bet he can't believe his luck. He had a qualifying ban for this race and he's starting in P16. Not P19, not P18, no, P16. That's because Lopez, who was starting 17th on the soft tyre, crashed out during qualifying. Cameron joined late and couldn't set a lap time, so he starts P18. And Barmer got disqualified. But both Mercedes-Benzes starting on the soft compound tyre. What Lopez, Cameron and Barmer are trying to do, they're going to be nice and aggressive at the start, try and make up as many positions as possible. The leaders are lining up into their respective grid slots. We'll get rid of the tyre detail. We don't need that. There we are. Look at that. Look at all that lovely viewing space. Because, yeah, leaderboard is still huge. I hope they bring something in the next patch where you can change the size of everything, because my lord is it still massive. Everyone should be lined up and ready to race here in Sao Paulo. We got 10 red lights, and we're underway here at Interlagos. Possassin starts well. Down towards the center S for the first time in race conditions, and it's a big send from Mitch Burns down the inside. And KD has spun out of turn 1 and dropped to the back of the field in 19th place. Wingett has had a shocking start too. He's down in 18th. Payton's down in 17th behind Aaron Carey as the midfield make their way down the Retro towards turn 4. Everybody gets through in relatively one piece. Up the hill towards turn 6 and 7. Everyone just trying to get into a rhythm now as Lopez shoots up a whole heap of grass into Barmer's helmet there. And Barmer goes through into 12th place. Fairly nice move there from the Mercedes driver. Ooh, a big send there from Wingett on Aaron Carey, who drops down to 19th place. So a bit of drama on the opening lap, but nothing major. No retirements as of yet. And it's Possassin who is leading the way, and he's already got a healthy margin of 1.2 seconds. Breezy doing all he can in second place to try and close the gap. Vermeulen and Andy side by side through turn 1. Through turn 2, Andy hangs on to third for now, around Curva de Sol. Onto the Retro. Vermeulen sitting in the slipstream, closing in. Pulls out of it ever so briefly. Arba looking down the inside of Kitten Petter and moves into P5. Petter drops to P6. Mitch Burns just behind, 7/10 behind in the Alpine as they head through turn 6 and 7, then into the hairpin of turn 8. Two drivers in the pit lane as well, Payton and Aaron Carey. What have they changed onto? They've changed onto a set of softs and medium compound tyres respectively. Barmer and Cam change places here. Barmer into P11, a superb start from the driver who is currently second in the Drivers' Championship. From 19th to 11th after 2 laps is a pretty solid effort, and he's not slowing down anytime soon. Closing in on Express, down the pit straight towards the center S. Is he close enough to go for a dive bomb here? No, he's not. He'll stay behind the Alpine, who runs wide at turn 1. Around turn 2 they go, and Barmer makes his way into P10. Cam will try and follow, who has lost a fair few positions on the start from P7 down to P12. Just made up one then, down the inside of Express at the Cida del Lago. So Cam into P11. Looking inside the top 10, everyone in here more or less just following one another. No one wants to race just yet. Express and Lopez squabbling for position here. Express hanging on. Lopez looking left and right to try and make a move. The soft tyre early in this race will feel magnificent compared to the mediums. Through turn 13. Lopez gets fairly solid drive there thanks to the grip of the soft tyre. Closes in. Pulls out of the slipstream. Has DRS open. Down the pit straight we go. Breezy and Andy are squabbling for second place as well, as Lopez makes a move into P12. Sure, Breezy would like that position back. He's got DRS and he closes in on Andy. Down towards Descida del Lago. Vermeulen is just in the background as well, in those wing mirrors on the Williams F1 car. He wants to join in this battle as well. Try and take second place away from Andy. In fact, everybody in this train is fairly close together. There's one man who was pulled away by some margin. That's Possassin, with a 2.7 second lead already. Just commanding the race out in front, looking somewhat untouchable. Up the hill through turn 14. Vermeulen looking racy. Towards the center S. Here comes Breezy looking around the outside. Can't get it done. Andy covers off the Williams pretty well. Exiting turn 2, around curve of the Sol, turn 3. DRS wide open for the Williams. Arba and Vermeulen are currently side by side. Breezy down the inside of Andy here at turn 4. They're side by side through turn 5. Arba's overtaken Vermeulen as well for P4. Lopez gets a 3-second time penalty, and Breezy moves into second place. Down and around turn 9. There's not much Breezy can do when they go onto the pit straight. In a few moments' time, not having DRS, it's such a disadvantage not having it. Up the hill. Andy should be able to get the position back. I don't know why it's hanging around on that camera for. We're right on board. Low on battery though, Andy. My goodness, you've spent quite a bit. Round the outside at turn 1. Breezy tries to fight. This gives Andy the inside line at turn 2. And he's through back into second place. But Breezy should have DRS. He does. Closes in. Goes for the move down the inside here at the Cedar de Lago. Andy forces the issue though. Runs wide and here comes Arba. Arba and Andy side by side. Not quite. Ooh. Andy still trying to fight there down the inside, but and he goes for a big send there on Arba. They're side by side around turn 9. Exiting turn 9, Arba gets back by, but Andy keeps the fight alive, my goodness. But Arba, he should get the position with the inside line at turn 12 and does. My goodness. Holy the squabbling there between those two. Collectively, they lost a bit of time to Breezy, but they're still within DRS range of the Williams. Now, Arba, I don't think he'd be able to overtake Breezy here into the center S. Although I might be wrong, down the inside. Just shows you how powerful it is. Breezy fights at turn 2 and through turn 3. Look at this group of cars. That's a horrible camera shot, Codemasters, dear me. Down towards the Cedar de Lago. Arba has the inside line here. Andy fights around the outside. Through turn 5 we go. They're still side by side. Andy has to slot in behind now, does he? He tries to force the issue. Arba gives him room. Into turn 8 we go. A big send from the McLaren. Through turn 9 they're still side by side. Vermeulen just behind in 4th place. Watching along. Cameron and Barma are just behind as well. What a recovery from the Mercedes duo. From last and second last, and now 5th and 6th. Exiting turn 13. And up the hill. Around turn 14. See there Vermeulen sporting the balaclava. No helmet on his head. Cameron closing in. Up towards the center S once again. Into turn 1, Andy looking down the inside of Arba. Arba again having the inside line at turn 2, hangs on. Vermeulen trying to look for a move. Cameron takes advantage of it. He's through into 4th place. Down towards the Cedar de Lago once again. Side-by-side action into turn 4. Cameron understeers wide. Loses time, losing positions. Exiting turn 5, it's 3 wide up the hill towards turn 6. Cameron, and Vermeulen, big contact there, and Vermeulen spins out. Drops down to 9th. Make that 12th now. A few more cars are coming. Lopez gets a 3-second time penalty. He's just in front of Vermeulen on the leaderboard. The contact between Cameron and Vermeulen. Vermeulen got the short end of the stick there. Losing a lot of positions. Breezy and Cameron battling up the hill around turn 14. Cameron and Mitch now battling side by side, and that's Lopez who has spun out. And into the pits. Hello. A few drivers in. Arba's in as well. Electric Blade, Mitch Burns into turn 1 we go. Electric Blade goes deep. Burns tries to get the switch back, can't get it done. Spinning is Cam in the background. Keeps it out of the wall though. Great job from him. 4 cars into the pits now. Lopez and Vermeulen pitting in as well. Andy just 2/10 behind Barmer, heading up the hill. And around turn 6, then turn 7. What a fantastic start of the race we're having. Some incredible battles. Meanwhile, out in front, Possession's gone. He's got a 7.5 second margin. He's gone. He's won. Unless we have a safety car at some point to bunch the field up again. And have a go at Barmer. From 19th, he's in second. What a recovery. Look at those tyres as well. Kittenpeta, Lopez there on the hard tyre. Vermou's on a set of soft, so he's doing a 2-stop down there. Cameron's on a set of mediums. Same with Arba. Electric Blade getting by Breezy for P4. Breezy will surely fight back. Around turn 3. Opens DRS down the Retroposta. Towards the Cedar de Lago. Oh, very nice. Very close. Breezy pushing as hard as he can. Oh, a bit of understeer there. He had to get off the throttle ever so slightly. Almost went into the back of Electric Blade. But he keeps his front wing out of the Haas's gearbox. Wingett and Cam pretty close on track as well, heading towards turn 8. No big sends here from any of the drivers on track. Up towards turn 11, will we see a send here? No, Cam just stays behind. Just driving sensible. Here we go. Express, he's got to run. He's on the back of Breezy, who is running low on battery. Or Breezy forcing the issue. And Burns probably wisely backing off there. Sensing that he was going into a dangerous scenario. Just backed off the throttle. Let Breezy have the position. Now Breezy, will he have a go this time? Closing in. Into the Cedar de Lago we go. Looking down the inside. Gets it done. He is through into 4th place. Get rid of that for now. Bring it back up when we see a few more drivers pitting in. Breezy, can he now try and pull away from the 2 behind? If he can, he's got plenty of clear air in front of him to try and set some consistent lap times. But the sheer power of DRS will keep Electric Blade and Mitch Burns right behind, or even battling with the Williams driver. Especially if Blade can get a nice run out of here, turn 13. Gets a pretty solid run. He's closing in on the Williams, as Cam and Arba are squabbling for P11. They were side by side at turn 12. Cam having to give up the position. He's down in 12th place. Look at that. Oh, the touch there. An Electric Blade sent into a half spin. Drops behind Mitch Burns. Still has DRS though. He'll try and close in. Arba overtaking Wingett to P10 on the leaderboard. Mitch sitting behind Breezy, trying to close in. We're at the 1/3 mark of the race as well, as Electric Blade was very sideways there at turn 7. Problem with all this tight racing, you really don't know where to look half the time. Sort of have to hope and pray that you're looking in the right spot in order to capture all the action. Through turn 13. Burns should get a run here. He's close enough. He'll have DRS. And Andy is into the pits. So is Breezy. So a couple of drivers in. Electric Blade. He gets a 5-second time penalty. I think I saw another 5-second time penalty come up as Electric Blade retires from the session. Really? He's done that in the pits, hasn't he? Andy coming out. He's on a set of medium tyres. Yeah, his AI is still moving, so he's just retired in the pits for some reason. Maybe he has something to go to, I'm not sure. Oh, cuts right in front of Cameron there. Down towards turn 4. Cameron looking down the inside. They're side by side through the corner. Contact, spinning. Oh, dearie me. I thought he was going into the wall. I honestly thought he was going into the wall. Oh, that was tight. That was seriously tight. Lopez, a 3-second time penalty. No, it's always awkward when you see two cars go side by side through turn 4 and through turn 5. Mitch Burns into the pits now, same with KD. They're getting off the soft tyre, putting on the mediums. Andy closing in on Cam. Cameron staying out on those soft tyres, he's still going. Here comes Andy closing in. Not by enough, as Cam does have DRS. Oh, using 7th gear there, Andy. 8th gear. What are you up to? You're really short shifting. Oh, Cameron a bit compromised there as he's trying to battle Wing It for 6th place, and here comes Andy to take advantage of it. Looking down the inside. Oh, Wing It leaves the door open. And Andy goes through into 7th as Wing It sends it big time at turn 8. Overcooks it. Makes contact with Cam. Almost spinning out as a result. And maybe Wing It a bit frustrated that Andy's just sending it there at turn 6. So he returned the favour. And overcooked it big time. That was a huge send. Cameron overtaking Dream there at Junso. He's into 10th place. Barmer. Where will he drop down to? Coming out of the pits, he's on the medium tyre. Cam in the pits as well. He will come out just in front of Andy. P5. He'll be really happy with this. Breezy getting by Wing It. Into P7 goes the Williams driver. Cameron isn't too far behind. Dream on old tyres, and we have a spinning Williams. That is Cam. He's done that. Oh. I was pretty certain he was in the pits. Huh. Zaba gets by Express there at turn 11. Passassin is into the pits for his only stop. Cameron getting by Wing It. He's into P8. Arbar closing in on his teammate. Bursey won't put up too much of a fight. Gives the inside line to Barmer. Barmer goes through with DRS into 2nd place. Express not too far behind on those old mediums as Electric Blade leaves the session. Mitch Burns overtakes Dream for P10. Cameron overtaking Wing It for P8. KD making moves as well. He's up to P11. Peyton in the pits now to put on some fresh tyres. Down towards the Cedar de Lago. Wing It trying to keep up with Cameron on those fresh tyres. Doing all he can. Not much you can do with the tyre difference on 9 lap older tyres. Can't really do much. He's got Mitch Burns and KD right behind, right on his trumpet, and here comes KD. Looked like he had a fairly solid run, just had nowhere to go. Around turn 12. Around turn 13. Up the hill. Sitting in the slipstream. It should be a fairly simple move for Mitch. Not sure about KD, though. I think he is close enough. Here goes Mitch into P9. Here comes KD. Looks to the inside. A big send. Ferrari driver leaves the door open. Through turn 2. KD is into 10th place. There's really not much Wing It can do on those old tyres. Basically has to get the white flag out and surrender the position. KD, he'll try and get by now as Express and Barmer change places, and Barmer getting a 3-second time penalty. He gave the position back to Express, so I reckon He also got a illegal overtake prompt come up, so he had to give the place back. Looking down the inside at turn 11 now. Express leaves him way too much room. He was way too kind there. And there goes Barmer into 4th place. In fairness to Express, he probably understands that he's on significantly older tyres. So there's no real point fighting Barmer. Surprised to see as well, no safety car. Typically you see one around here. Well, we're at the halfway mark and we haven't seen one. There you go. And only one retirement, with Electric Blade retiring in the pits. Down the Retroposta, Mitch Burns with DRS closing in, looking to the inside into Descida de Lago. Doesn't commit to the move. Just stays behind the Alfa Romeo driver for now. Vermeer putting a bit of pressure on his teammate up the hill towards Ferradura. And that is Breezy out. Crashing out. There he is there. He's gone head first into the barrier at turn 8. Got yellow flags out, but no safety car just yet. A bit surprising. And there we go. The car's despawned. We don't have a safety car. Oh, a big sideways moment there for Wingett. Keeps control of the car, but here comes his teammate Vermeer. Oh, running wide is Wingett. Dearie me. Ran very, very wide there at turn 13. He's left himself quite vulnerable to Dream. Here comes Wingett to retake that position with DRS. Down the inside of turn 1. Gets through. This doesn't help Vermeer's cause at all as he cuts turn 2. That will probably be a warning for Vermeer. Down the Retroposta again. Here comes Vermeer. Down the inside. Through into 10th place. Oh, it's Dream almost overcooks it there. Almost goes into the back of Wingett. Now Andy's moved past Express into P5. He's going to try and close the gap to Bersey. Get by Bersey. Then close the gap to Barmer in P3. That's the car he's racing. And he's sitting in the slipstream, using up his battery, closing in, opens DRS, around the final corner. Should be a fairly simple move. It is. Bersey doesn't put up too much of a fight, understandably so. Through he goes into 4th. Ooh, hello. Express made a mistake. Dropped a position to Cameron. He's lost a bit of time. KD and Mitch Burns are coming. Around turn 4. Mitch just following KD at the moment. Doesn't want to put any moves on the Alfa Romeo driver just yet. Now Andy's got a 2.8 second gap to close in to Barmer. He's at a bit of a disadvantage too with 2 lap older mediums, but Barmer does have that 3-second time penalty next to his name. And Barmer is closing in on Arba, who won't make it easy for the Mercedes driver to get by. Opens DRS, who close in at a rapid rate of knots. 3.5 tenths, 3 tenths, 2.5 tenths, almost 2 tenths into the braking zone of turn 1. Express is going into the pits and gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding. Exiting Curva de Sol, opens DRS using overtake. Barmer pulls out of the slipstream. Gets an easy overtake on Barmer. That's just the easy overtake on Arba. Such is the power of DRS. Makes overtaking very easy. A few drivers in actually. Express on the hard tyres, Vermeer on the mediums. Dream and Wingett are on soft tyres now. Lopez got a 3-second time penalty down in 11th place. Exiting turn 11. Arba just steadily losing time. He's on quite a bit older medium compound tyres compared to Barmer. Arba's got 11 lap old mediums compared to Barmer's 5. 6 lap difference between the two. And Andy's got a bit of company now. Got Cameron right behind. And here comes the Mercedes driver. Simple move. Into 4th. Can Andy retaliate? Burzy into the pits as well for his pit stop. He'll go on to the soft tyre and go to the end. Andy, he won't be able to close that gap up. No. Stays behind in P5. KD and Mitch still fairly close together on track. Burzy will come out P9, potentially. Here comes Aaron Carey. Got to run. Express has DRS and is closing in. Heading towards the Cedar de Lago. Express goes down the inside. Oh, in contact. Oh, my dearie me. So Express and Aaron made contact. Express lost speed through the corner. And as a result, Lopez went straight into the back of him, completely destroying his front wing. Oh dear, he'll have to go in and get that fixed! And so will Peyton! Losing control there at turn 9, spinning into the barrier. Gets it pointing back in the right direction, but he too will have to go into the pits and get that fixed. Andy half a second behind Cameron, he's not giving up. Closing in, Cameron low on battery as well. You can tell with the flashing light at the back of the car. Peyton going slowly, bringing out yellow flags, that's okay. You expect that with a completely destroyed front wing. Through the middle sector, Cameron's doing a hell of a job on 13 lap old mediums to outpace Andy on 9 lap old mediums. Cameron showing a lot of pace out there on track. Rest of the field pretty well spread out. Express trying to overtake Aaron. It's on those fresh hards. Vermeer, a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. What did you do? Must have cut turn 8. What I hazard a guess of what he did. Lost control at turn 7, cut onto the grass, rejoined the circuit after turn 8, and that's how he got a 10-second time penalty. He'll probably get that removed. As Aaron goes into the pits to get off these medium tyres and go on to the soft tyre. Express is released into a bit of clear air in P10. He'll have a hard time catching Burzy, who was on the soft tyre. And Vermeer is just behind on fresh mediums. He'll be trying to close the gap. KD and Mitch still fairly close together on track. Vermeer a 3-second time penalty. Andy 8/10 behind. Still within DRS range of the Mercedes. Doing all he can to try and keep this fight alive for 4th. And in fact, this might turn into a battle for 3rd place as Cameron has closed in to within 1 second of Arba in P3. Down the Retroposta, the power of DRS, he'll close in that little bit more. And here's Mitch Burns trying to look around the outside of KD at turn 4. Can't make that stick. KD stays in P6. Burzy closing in on Kit and Petto, only 1.2 seconds separating the two. Express doing all he can, but Vermeer is closing in. Gap is now 1.2 seconds. Aaron and Wingett fairly close together on circuit 2. Might see a change in position here. As Lopez sets fastest lap with a 1 minute 8.3. Wingett closes in. Not by enough to try and make any sort of overtake. Burzy now well within 1 second of Kit and Petto. Cameron, he could be in a position to attack Arbar into turn 4. Doesn't get a great run through Curva de Sol. Down the Retroposta. Doesn't have a lot of battery to play with either. Into turn 4, not quite close enough to attack. Mitch again looking around the outside of KD. KD defends well. Burzy overtakes Kitten Petter down the pit straight into turn 1. He's into 8th. Vermeulen overtaking Express in a similar fashion. He's into P10. Cameron, he should be in a position by the end of the lap to try and overtake Arbar for P3. Exits turn 13 up the hill. Oh, and Arbar makes a mistake. Oh, he can't keep control of it. He hits Cameron. Cameron is spun out. He goes into the wall. He gets a 5-second time penalty for that severe collision with Cameron. Cameron doesn't get a penalty, thank goodness, because the game do be like that sometimes, where it hands out penalties to the wrong driver. And Arbar gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. But Arbar lost control at turn 13, went onto the grass. He tried desperately to gather it back up. But in his desperation, he went straight into Cameron, spun him out. Giving Cameron damage. Had to get that fixed. He's now down in 10th place. This was looking like a double podium for Mercedes. Doesn't look like that anymore. I can assure you neither driver will be happy about the situation. But I reckon Cameron will be less happy compared to Arbar. I hazard a guess. Mitch and KD. My goodness, you two have not been separated all race. They've been battling away for what is now 4th. One person who would be really happy about what happened would be the driver in 3rd, Andy. He'd be quite pleased about that. He'll say, thank you very much, chaps. I'll take that P3 away from you. But KD, I have to keep an eye on that interval. He just might be closing in. There might still be a battle for 3rd to take place. Just have to wait. Get to Petter. He's now got Vermeulen right behind. Oh! Very much behind Kitten Petter there. Through turn 6. Then turn 7. Oh, tight. Very, very tight. You have to be very careful when you're right behind another driver, that you don't miss your braking point and smash into the back of the car in front, damaging your front wing. Up and around turn 13. Not a great run from Vermeulen, but he should be able to make the move stick. Mitch Burns might be going for a move here as KD again defends the inside line. That is Wingett spinning out in P14, and Mitch Burns moves into 4th. And Vermeulen moves into 7th place on those medium tyres. I don't think, realistically, Kitten Petter can fight back. The best that he can do is just hang on to the back of Vermeulen's car. And that's Wingett spinning out again as Arbar retires in the pits. Deary me. So Arbar's had enough. He'll be our 3rd retirement of the race. Still no safety car. Still have a few laps to go, but this might be a safety carless race as Cameron goes down the inside at turn 8. Into P8 he goes. He now has to close in by a second to pass Vermeulen. It should be fairly easy with DRS down the pit straight and down the Retroposta. As Mitch Burns is almost within a second, now within a second of Andy Wu, as Lopez gets another penalty. Down the straightaway we go. Oh, that's the stupid AI that hasn't despawned yet. Because they still don't have that in the game where the AI does not despawn in the pits. It just dawdles about on circuit, creating a mess. Cameron's into 7th. His next target will be Burzy in P6. Still could be a really, really good result for Cameron, even after all that has happened to him. But that doesn't help, a 3-second time penalty. And he's in a bit of trouble here. He's got 2 cars right behind him. Both of them have DRS. Around turn 14. Mitch moves to the inside. Fairly simple move for Mitch. And here comes KD. Can he go for it here at turn 1? The answer is no. He stays behind Andy. Around Curva du Sol. Andy will have DRS, so will KD. They'll close in on the Alpine. Towards turn 4. Not by enough to overtake, but by enough to keep in touch. This, at the moment, is the only battle on track. The rest of the field is fairly well spread out now. Cameron is closing in, so we might see a battle for P6 in a few moments, but for now, this is it. Meanwhile, out in front, Passassin with an 18.3 second lead. My goodness, that kid is quick. Barmer in P2 spectacularly from 19th on the grid. I wonder who will be getting driver of the day. Mitch Burns finds himself in 3rd place. Really nice position to be in. Barmer in front in P2 has 3 seconds worth of penalties. Unless that tally increases to 6 seconds, I think Barmer's pretty much in 2nd place. Exiting turn 3. Andy is not keeping up with Mitch. Mitch has got a lot of speed as Cameron, he too has a lot of speed, overtaking Burzy for P6. He's now got 18 seconds worth of clear air in front of him. He needs to put the hammer down and open up a 3-second margin with the laps remaining. KD now properly on the back of Andy. There's Williams just behind. That's Cam. Currently a lap down. Credit to Cameron, still fighting on. Regardless of the position he's in. KD right behind Andy. What can he do? It's going to be a fairly simple move here for KD. Andy can't do much. Through KD goes into 4th place. Lap car Cam will follow as well. I think Cam's on the soft tyre, so he's trying to get a move on. Hopefully he won't provide too much of a distraction for the leaders. They need to race their own race here. It doesn't help when a ghosted car is driving through them. Like that. I think that's it. I think all the battles that were going to occur have occurred. The rest of the gaps are pretty big at the moment. The leader begins lap 34 of 36 as Kitten Petter drops a position for some reason. I looked at all the gaps, none of them were within a second. Now we got another battle just spontaneously made as Petter gives up the position to Aaron. So Petter's in some sort of trouble. Lost the position to Dream, lost another to Aaron, who was just within 1 second of Dream. So there might be a battle here for the final point spot. Oh, never mind. I opened my mouth too soon. Aaron goes into the wall. Oh dear. As Peyton gets a 3-second time penalty. KD has actually fought his way back towards Mitch here. He is within a second as Lopez gets by the stricken Aaron Carey as well into P12. KD just 7/10 behind, making his way through turn 9. Comes around turn 11, down the hill, through 12. As Peyton overtakes R14, who's in the pit lane. For some reason, the pit graphic doesn't show up when you have penalties on. See, it shows up there, but you put penalties on and the pit graphic disappears. It's very strange, but no. KD, he's now right on the gearbox of Mitch Burns. Probably close enough he can smell that gearbox oil coming off the Alpine. Down the Retroposta towards turn 4. Not close enough to attack just yet, KD. Up the hill. Around turn 6 and 7. Slowly working away at Mitch. Through the middle sector. There's a lapped Haas, I believe that would be Aaron, just behind. Half a second separating the two. The final lap has begun for the leader, who is well out in front. Oh, this is a distraction KD does not need right now. Having lap cars driving through him. Here we go. For third place, KD moves into that position. Can Mitch do anything? Did he just back off a whole heap there? Look at that gap. 8/10. What's happened? He's just backed off a whole heap. He's letting KD have it. He's backing off a whole heap more. What's going on? Meanwhile, exiting Junso for the final time, Assassin will take another win in this championship. He's absolutely dominated this race, winning it by a comfortable margin. Takes the checkered flag and wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Barmer will take home a superb second. This is some effort to come back from 19th to second place. A superb drive. It's P2 for Barmer. Mitch has really dropped off. My goodness. Is he out of fuel or something? Ah, that's why. He's out of fuel. The solid red icon on the car, he is out of fuel. So it's going to be 4th place then for Mitch. You'd be happy he hung on to that. That explained why he backed off so much by the end of the race. Andy comes home in P6, Burzy in P7. See the position gains here. Barmer up 17 positions, Cameron up 13, Burzy up 7, Dream up 7, Express up 4, finishing P9, Vermoo finishing in 10th place, 4 places down from where they started. Kitten Petter will be our final finisher in 11th. There we are. Crashes his car in spectacular style. But there we are. Oh, Barmer got driver of the day. Oh, I'm so surprised that he got driver of the day. Did not see that coming. Did not see that coming at all. Podium celebrations here in Brazil. And it's another win for Assassin. He'll open up that championship lead that little bit more. One step closer to becoming Drivers' Champion. But a really solid day for Mercedes. It could have been so much better without the incident between Arba and Cameron. But Barmer finishes second. And KD, a very impressive 3rd place finish there. But here we are. The final results, provisionally, until further steward intervention. Assassin winning by 24.5 seconds. That's a pretty big gap. Barmer from 19th to 2nd, given driver of the day. KD in 3rd, Mitch Burns in 4th, Cameron coming up from 18th to 5th, Andy in 6th, Percy 7th, Dream in 8th, Express in 9th, and Kitapeta rounds out the top 10. Then we got Vermoo, Peyton, Wingit, Lopez, Aaron Carey, Cam Tizzle, and our retirements, Arba, Breezy, and Electric Blade. Aaron got fastest lap, so none of the top 10 drivers will score that point. So it's not a full complement of points then for Passassin. Only be 25 instead of 26. And there we are. Certainly kept on our toes pretty much all the way through. There wasn't a single safety car. There wasn't a single virtual safety car. And yet there were still battles pretty much every lap of that race. There was something going on. It really just shows you how good this circuit is. It's an astonishing racetrack. It just has an uncanny ability to make really, really great racing. And I think we saw a bit of it today, but there wasn't too much racing for our winner, winning by a hell of a margin. But no, congratulations again to the top 3, and congratulations to Passassin on winning. Oh, what win would this be? I'll have to check the website, actually, to accurately work that out. Because he's won quite a few this season, Assassin. Let's have a look. A Contest of Speed website. Scroll down to the F1 League. Oh, no. That's the wrong one. Oops. That one. That's better. But yeah, just it's going to be really tough to beat this guy, that's for sure. We saw some superb driving throughout. Some really great battles too. Especially early in the race, we had that massive scrap for P2 that we witnessed all the way throughout the beginning of the race. That was absolutely bonkers, but it was so much fun to watch. So let's see. Passassin will be victory number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be win number 9 out of 14 this season. In fact, this will be win number 7 in a row. He's been on a winning streak since Monaco, and he's been untouchable. No. I think with everything finally over, we can wrap up the stream. Tune in next week as the AM1 Championship will start up again. But until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for round 15 at Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix. Hope to see you all there, but until then, it's goodbye.
I'm just gonna